Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. The speed of Anthony Ghost made a big difference in last night's ball game. Ghost chipped in with 2 hits. He scored a couple of runs, and in the end, after 5 hours of baseball, the Tigers came away with a walk-off win. Tonight, we welcome you to Comerica Park on a great night for baseball, the third and final game featuring the Tigers and the Rays. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad you're with us here tonight for the series finale. It's been a wild couple of days, I guess, here at the ballpark. Rather, Tigers, though, coming away with 2 wins. That's the bottom line.
And they'll take those W's. There's no doubt about that. It's been a while since they've won back-to-back games right here at Comerica Park. And you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the season, the last time they swept a team here. But it's encouraging to see the way this team's come out and played the first couple of games against Tampa.
All right, now J.D. Martinez continues to roll. He had another home run in the ball game last night. And for J.D. now, he's starting to reach some historic levels among Tigers outfielders.
Well, you got to give him all the credit. I mean, here's a guy that a couple of years ago didn't really have a job in baseball. He went down to Venezuela. He played some winter ball. He retooled his entire swing. And because of that, 36 home runs already this year hit by J.D. Martinez, and he hits them late. 23 7th inning and beyond since he's put on a Tigers uniform. And because he's done that, man, he has put himself in some terrific company. Take a look at this. Since 1968, Willie Horton hit 36 home runs that year. J.D. Martinez is the first outfielder to accomplish that since 1968. So he has a legitimate chance of getting to 40 this year and driving in 100 runs, which would be a wonderful feather in his cap.
Maybe he'll get a little bit closer tonight. Stay with us. Game 3 in the series just minutes away. After a short break, back to the Coliseum we go with Justin White. Matchup tonight, Jake Odorizzi, Kyle Lapstein. Game 3, Tigers-Rays next. Starting lineup for the visiting Rays, brought to you by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for Tampa Bay tonight, it's Geyer, Matuk, and Longoria in the top three spots. Forsythe batting cleanup, then Cabrera and Beckham, and a bottom three of Loney, Schaefer, and J.P. Arancibia batting ninth, and rounding it out for Kevin Cash and the Rays. And we are ready for baseball tonight as Kyle Lopstein toes the slab. Brandon Geyer steps in. And on another gorgeous night for baseball, here we go. First one on the way is a strike called on Brandon Geyer.
And Geyer has started all 40 games against left-handed starters this year for Tampa. 39 of those 40 starts coming in the leadoff spot.
Here's the 0-1 from Lopstein, and it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I expect Lopstein to use a few more off-speed pitches here this evening against this very aggressive Tampa team all of a sudden. Since the calendar turned to August, they've been very aggressive on first pitch fastballs.
Geyer sends one high in the air to left field, fairly deep. Collins going back, edge of the warning track, and that's how we start this one here tonight. Kyle Lopstein presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Kyle has spent the majority of the season on the disabled list, making his 10th start here this evening. He has a fastball that tops out probably at 90 miles an hour. He'll also cut the fastball. He's got a nice curveball, and he also features a changeup, part of his 4-pitch mix.
Here is Mikey Matuk. He's had a pretty good series. Matuk batting .239 overall, 3 out of 6, double, triple in the series. And he'll take ball 1. A couple of wild games here in the first two. The Tigers have prevailed. Last night it took 5 hours to finally win the ball game for the Tigers.
That was a long one.
Yes, it was. They finally got the winning run in the bottom of the 13th on a shallow sac fly off the bat of Rajay Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matuk. He pulls that one foul, third base side, 1-2. Tigers at 64-74 on the year. The Rays come in at 67-71. 24 games remain in the 2015 season.
Is that it?
That's it. A couple of more road trips, 1 more homestand. That's it. 1-2, sails low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So you only have to deal with me for 24 more days.
That's it, then I'm free.
Then you can go pick your own friends.
And you're probably saying the same thing.
You got that right.
2-2 on Matuk. And a bouncer back up the middle, ranging left. Machado, he went a long way to get to that ball, and he throws him out.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It is presented to you by Beaumont Health. Right to left, you've got Martinez, Ghost, and Collins. Collins has really stepped up lately. Castellanos, Machado, Kinsler, Marte in the infield, and Alex Avila, his first start at that position in about a week or so.
So with 2 outs, here is Evan Longoria. Big series for Longoria. He has driven in 5 in the first 2 games. And he'll take ball. Nope, strike 1 in the outside corner. Up with the right hand goes Tim Timmons. Longoria now at .273, team high 67 RBI. 0-2.
It's been a monster road trip for Evan Longoria. He's homered in 5 of their last 8 contests. So if you're Kyle Lopstein, you're facing him just the way you want to, with the bases empty.
Longoria finishing strong this year. He has really done well this season versus left-handed pitching, .362. And he'll drive this one in the air to center. Moving over is Martinez. Ghost steps in front of him to make the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Lopstein. starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Ghost, Kinsler, and Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Miggy's 7th game is the DH. He's hitting .391, followed by Martinez, Castellanos, Collins getting the start at the left tonight. Marte is at first, Avila is the catcher, and Machado is the shortstop. As Anthony Ghost settles in, we bring you the Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup. We're going to focus on Ghost and the fact that he's reached safely in 13 of his last 14 games.
How about that? You know we call that, buddy, right?
What's that?
Salary drive.
Oh, yeah.
Salary drive
it's
for Anthony Ghost.
Late September.
Yeah.
Ghost's been drawing some walks, as you saw in that graphic as well. Anthony looks at a strike. 0-1. 256 for Ghost. He's hit 5 home runs. And he's had 3 hits in the series, 2 of them coming last night. The 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Odorizzi with a real simple delivery on the mound for a right-hander. Reminds a lot of people of David Price. Just a simple step to the left, gathers himself, and then gets to that really high 3/4 arm slot.
Chopper back up the middle. It gets by Odorizzi. Cabrera, nice play, but his throw is wide. And a pretty good play there by Loney to save 90 feet. If that ball gets by and Ghost moves up. Infield single.
I did not think Cabrera could get to this ball, and then when he got to it, I didn't think there was no chance that he could throw out Ghost, but he threw the ball aggressively over to first base, and you brought up the fact that that's a real nice play by the first baseman Loney to prevent that ball from going into their dugout.
Leadoff infield hit for Ghost. That'll bring up Kinsler. 3 out of 10 in the series for Kinsler, batting .305. Check swing roller back to the mound. This could be 2. And it is. It's a 1-4-3.
Here's the numbers on Jake Odorizzi. Odorizzi comes in 6-8. He got off to a really good start. His first 12 starts of the year, but he's really struggled lately. He's got a fastball that tops out at about 92. He's got a splitter / changeup. They call it the splange. And he also has a curveball to go along with the fastball and the splange.
Here's Cabrera. That's all we need is another verb, another description for a word.
I laughed when I heard that.
I mean,
it's because of the splitter and the changeup. I mean, it acts like one of the others. So he just got his own special name for it.
Meanwhile, 2 balls, no strikes. Cabrera, there's the shift they play against him.
Yeah, which kind of boggles my mind every time I see somebody shift on Miguel Cabrera, because he can take that ball and hit it right there past the second baseman anytime he wants to. He's that good with the bat. And you take a look at Miggy's hits by direction. He's 39 that way, 38 that way. You wouldn't think that a guy would get shifted like this, but that's a new generation baseball.
That is pulled down the left field line. Going to go to the corner. It's extra bases. Cabrera is on his way to second, and Miggy is in there standing up with a double.
They should have put that rover in left.
Yeah.
Here's a splitter thrown by Odorizzi, and it's a pitch that's been getting hammered lately by him. Beginning of the year, it was a really good pitch for him, but he's been leaving some up. Miguel takes his hands, pulls him close to the body. That's how you keep that ball in fair territory, and he whistles it down in the left field corner for a stand-up double.
Odorizzi has given up a couple of hits already in his first start against the Tigers this year. He was awfully good and gave up a total of 6 in that game. Just 1 run. Now J.D. Martinez trying to drive him in with 2 outs. Fouled away 0-1.
And Rays also employed the same type of shift on J.D. Martinez as they employed on Miguel Cabrera. And the second baseman, Beckham, almost right behind second base bag. Here's where, if you're a base runner, and Miguel is really good at this anyway, after every single pitch, you have to just take a look at the outfielders and infielders to see if they continue to move pitch after pitch.
It's in the air toward right field, headed to foul ground, and they will not be able to get there. The right fielder Matuk was running in.
Take a look at the Tampa Bay Rays starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Schaefer in the outfield, 14th game with the Rays, 4th different position. He's played some thirds, first, some right field, and of course he's anchored in left this evening.
Oh, 2 count on J.D. Martinez. Slammed his 36th home run of the season last night. Fouled off the mask.
That's a good pitch there by Odorizzi. If you're going to go in there at 92, you better get in there, and he did get in there. Crowded J.D. It's the last thing J.D. was looking for in the 0-2 offering from Odorizzi. A lot of fastballs up in the strike zone thrown by Odorizzi. He'll try to get you to chase. Then he'll try to get you to chase that splitter at the bottom of the strike zone as well.
That's down low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastballs up in the strike zone, nothing new or nothing different for Rays pitchers. And it's an organizational philosophy they've had. We've seen it work well with Drew Smyly, the former Tiger.
It looks so good coming out of their hand at 90, 93, and all of a sudden you start your swing, and it's very difficult to get on top of a fastball that's belt buckle or higher.
Here's the 1-2, and it's lifted back out of play.
There's Jim Hickey, their pitching coach, scouring over some scouting reports. That's the biggest difference in the game these days, Mario, versus about, what, 10 years ago maybe?
A lot more data.
Every coach down there's got a notebook.
One, 2 on J.D. Martinez. And it's low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Odorizzi allowed 3 home runs in a loss to the Yankees in his last start. He's a guy that's real frustrated because he gets very little run support in his starts. In fact, a little over 3 runs per 9 innings, which is the worst in the American League.
I think those 3 homers he gave up were the only 3 hits that he gave up in the entire game.
Yeah, they were.
And that resulted in 5 runs attacked on him by the New York Yankees.
2-2 on Martinez. 2-out double by Cabrera, trying to get him in. And a swing and a miss. J.D. goes down to end the inning. First strikeout of the ball game for Odorizzi, and we go to the second. Your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. By Jeep, keep summer's adventures going with great deals now during the Jeep Labor Day sales event. And by Cheerios, now we can say it, Honey Nut Cheerios is gluten-free. Kyle Lapstein goes back to work and delivers a strike to Logan Forsythe to lead things off. And before the game today, both the Tigers and the Rays were out shaking hands with our first responders. The local police and fire forces, fire departments were honored here before the game today, which was a nice touch. Ball hit to the hole, and Machado throws him out by a step, one away.
Machado's already made 2 nice plays in this game. One ranging far to his left, this one going in the hole. And then he gets there and he backhands it. He plants that right foot, and he's got plenty enough arm strength to play that shortstop position at this level, that's for sure.
One gone now for Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera sits safely in 5 consecutive games, batting .264. Veteran shortstop takes ball 1 outside from Lapstein.
Asdrubal Cabrera has been good against the Tigers. Going back to his days in a Cleveland Indians uniform, he has reached base in 15 straight games against Tigers pitching at a batting average of .348.
Three out of 10 in the series for Cabrera. Now Lapstein ready with the 2-0. Bouncing ball to short. You're picking on Machado tonight. He'll make another play.
Picking on Machado, and Machado is picking and grinning. Looking all of 16 years old out there.
If that. 23-year-old Venezuelan looking sharp here tonight defensively. 2 gone for Tim Beckham. Beckham getting the start at second base tonight. Is 1 for 4 with an RBI in the series. That is fouled back out of play, 0-1. Rays still waiting for Beckham to blossom. He was the #1 overall pick back in 2008 in the draft that year, but he suffered a torn ACL, and that slowed his development. He was the top high school prospect coming out of that draft in 2008. Middle infielder. It'll miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sometimes it takes the high school players a little longer to develop versus the college kids, especially the college kids that go to really good 4-year programs. D1 baseball.
1-2.
It's not the only way to get to the big leagues, but those guys that do go to the really good premium colleges and they get a chance to play in the College World Series and play against really good talent. A lot of scouting directors feel like those guys will get to the big leagues faster than a high school prospect.
Lapstein working quickly. The 1-2 is strike 3 called, and Beckham is out of there. 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Lapstein. Couple of grounders and a punch out of Beckham.
Would be the first sweep they have had in a long time.
Yeah, beginning of the season. I mean, which is odd because this team got off to a stellar start. They were 6-0 and looked like they were going to contend for the division again, but they really just have not been able to play good baseball all year, and they really haven't had a really good season here at home.
They swept the Cubs, but that was a 2-game series. We're talking about a 3-game sweep, which could happen tonight. Nick Castellanos leads it off for the Tigers against Jake Odorizzi. They will play Castellanos to pull. And a strike called on Nick.
Second time the Tigers have seen Odorizzi this season. They saw him in Tampa, and he beat the Tigers that day. He went up against his former teammate in David Price and only gave up 1 run in that game, and he struck out 8 in that contest.
Longoria handles the chopper to third for the out, 1 gone. That'll bring up Tyler Collins. Collins getting called in left in this game in place of Rajai Davis with the right-hander on the mound. Tyler at 258 has had a really good month of September, 391 this month. And they play him to pull to the right side of the infield. Here's the 1-0. Fouled off, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice little conversation with Tyler in the clubhouse today. Boy, man, has he enjoyed getting the opportunities that he has gotten here in the month of September. It's the first time really since he's come to the big leagues from Toledo that he's gotten some consistent reps.
Yeah, the semi-regular playing time, I think, has made a difference for him. And we've talked about this oftentimes, Rod, how when you're playing every day down in the minor leagues, you come up to the big leagues, maybe play once, twice a week. It's hard to maintain that consistency.
Yeah, because you know if you go 0 for 4, more than likely you're not going to play the next day.
Slice toward left center field. That'll get down. Base hit. So the big September continues for Tyler Collins.
Here's a little bit of what Odorizzi likes to do, and we've well documented the fact he's got a fastball he likes to keep down in the strike zone at about 89 to 91 miles an hour. He locates it inside. He locates it outside. He also throws a nice breaking ball and then that splitter that really dances. He will also change the eye level with fastballs up in the strike zone. Tigers know all of this, and they will be guarding against that tonight against Odorizzi. They already have 3 hits tonight against him.
In that July 28 defeat of the Tigers, 6 innings, 6 hits, 8 strikeouts. Marte fouls it off 0-1.
Something else that probably helped Odorizzi that day when he pitched against Detroit. The fact he was going up against David Price, and he knew that runs would be at a premium anytime you go up against Price, and he turned in one of his better pitching performances of this season.
Tigers in that series lost 2 out of 3. In fact, they hit just 182 against the Rays in that series. That was right before the trade deadline. And I think in many ways, Rod, that was the series that kind of convinced the Tigers they wanted to become sellers as opposed to buyers.
Yeah, right after we left Tampa that Thursday afternoon, David Dombrowski started making some phone calls telling everybody that he was selling and that Cespedes would be available. Davis would be available. Of course, Soria and also Cespedes would be available too.
Here's the 1-1 to Marte. Popped up shallow center field. Beckham running back there. He'll track it down for round number 2. Well, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Steak and Egg Burritos. Here comes Alex Avila with 2 away. Tigers once again tonight are without Victor Martinez, who's just been feeling under the weather, just has not felt good at all, sore throat and all that kind of bad stuff. And he is available tonight, though, to pinch hit if Brad needs him, but he's not starting tonight.
Yeah, Brad said he was feeling so bad that yesterday he wasn't even at the ballpark.
And Brad also feels that probably tomorrow night in Cleveland he will be able to start, get him back in the lineup. Avila bats with 2 outs. Ball 1.
There's a rumor that Victor Martinez has pretty good numbers in that ballpark in Cleveland.
That rumor can be substantiated, no doubt. He does really well there. Avila batting just 173, getting the start behind the dish after McCann caught a long night at baseball last night. Good block at home plate by Aaron Sevilla. Not only did McCann catch 13 innings last night, but he was also hit in the helmet on a pitch by Colomé. And fortunately for James, things turned out okay. I don't normally see a guy just run down to first base after getting drilled in the helmet.
Yeah, he went down there like he didn't even feel it.
There's the 2-0. High, 3 balls, no strikes.
Here is the pitch he was hit on last night. Sounded worse than it was.
I mean, that sounded as bad as you could possibly sound. Ricocheted off the helmet, and he was all right. Avila looks at a strike, 3-1.
That's a good take there by Alex. Because Odorizzi has to come back with that same exact fastball. You've already seen 3 fastballs in the 4 pitches you've seen from him. So you should have a pretty good idea of the velocity of the next heater that you're going to get.
Collins at first with 2 outs. He'll draw a throw. Tigers have hit 5 home runs so far in this series in the first 2 games. Here's the 3-1. Fouled back out of play, 3-2. Again, Odorizzi coming back with the fastball. Now it's full, which means Collins will be on the move with 2 outs. Now the 3-2 with a runner going and a ground ball right into the shift. Beckham scoops it up in the outfield grass, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. To take on the Indians. Our coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers Tribe tomorrow at 6. You'll see it right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Here's the former Indian, Victor Martinez. feeling a little bit better today. Should be good to go tomorrow night. And Anibal Sanchez threw a bullpen on the side today, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Good. He did. And threw quite a few pitches. It's very important for Norris and also Sanchez to get back on the field before the season's over.
Here's a ground ball right by the first baseman Marte into right field. Leadoff single for Loney.
And the reason I say that is that if you're Al Avila, the new general manager, you want to know exactly what their health is going into the offseason so that you know exactly what moves you need to make or moves you might not have to make when you go to the general managers meetings and also to the winter meetings in December. You want to know who is healthy.
Sanchez has been out. Norris has been out. Lobstein just got back from the disabled list. Here's Richie Schaefer. Sends a ground ball to short. Should be 2, 6, 4, 3. A double play. Base is empty now with 2 outs. Time for a game break. Here's Matt Shepard. It's hard to believe, Shep, that and Rod, that the Nats are looking like they're going to be on the outside looking in when the postseason starts.
The wheels have fell off in Washington.
And how about those Mets, man? They really have come on after the trades they made and some pickups, according to obviously Cespedes from the Tigers has really propelled them. There's the strike call, 1-1.
Take one more look at the double play ball off the bat of Schaefer. And one of the things that Lobstein knows is that they're swinging early, they're swinging often, so he fades that little changeup away from Schaefer. You can see his hips opened up, and he hit it off the end of the bat right at Machado for that 6-4-3 double play. Expect a lot of off-speed stuff tonight from Lobstein.
He's got the 5 groundouts already. And Machado has 4 assists already in this game. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on J.P. Arancibia. Double and a homer in the series, 3 for 6. Geyer, the leadoff man, waiting on deck. Popped him up. Left side. It's Machado calling. And that's going to be it for the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score. Hitting coach, and he talks about how the Tigers need to attack Jake Odorizzi tonight.
He's a major league pitcher, which means that he can win every time he goes out. We have to shrink the zone, make him work, not chase. He's got a 4-seamer, 2-seamer split that he works with for the majority of the part of his game. So we just have to be patient and get good pitches.
When a guy has gone through a stretch in which he hasn't won in 7 starts, does it affect how you attack him early in a start?
Well, obviously you want to continue the streak. I think the best way to do that is to get some runs early so that he thinks that it's still going on and he doesn't have a shot of ending the streak today. So, absolutely. Our daily goal is to score runs early to get a lead for our pitchers and to add on. So hopefully we do that.
And the Tigers hoping they can certainly score some early runs here, but Odorizzi has done a pretty good job. He picked up a double play in the first. Tigers had a double in that first inning, but did not score.
And usually second time through the batting order, Odorizzi is awfully stingy. Tigers will need to change that.
Anthony Ghost looks at a strike. He had an infield single in his first at bat.
I like what Wally said there when he said shrinking the zone against Odorizzi. And we told you he's a guy that loves the fastball up at about 92. Then he has that split-fingered fastball that he likes to work south of the knees with that particular pitch. So you just make sure you keep him over the plate with those 2 pitches.
That one's up and in. 2-1 on Ghost.
He straightened Anthony up.
Anthony now has 4 hits in this series against the Rays. Two and two.
And he missed with his location, but a nice job by Aaron Sevilla and reaching out there to grab that ball and keeping it in the strike zone.
He may have stole one there for him.
It's nothing uncommon for Tampa catchers, and it goes back a number of years. They've had some outstanding receivers with great game calling ability, great receiving ability, and they can also frame the baseball very well, which allows them to steal a strike every now and then.
A hard ground ball that's hit to the right of Beckham, who can't backhand it. Ghost's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it. Ball bobbled out there. Now he's going to third, and the throw not in time. Anthony Ghost gets all the way to third base.
That boy know he can run. Are you kidding me? Did you see that?
How in the world is he standing at third right now?
He is thinking triple as soon as he makes contact with this ball. It's slowed down by Beckham. But look at Anthony Ghost. He puts pressure on the outfielder, and that's why they mishandled the ball in center field. And then he didn't stop, and he continued to get to third base. This mishandle is caused by the aggressive base running of Anthony Ghost and also the miscommunication of Montook and Geyer.
There wasn't even a play at third base.
That's amazing how fast he really is.
We'll give him a double and an E8 as Kinsler now tries to drive in a run against a drawn-in infield. Well, we mentioned the speed of Ghost made a difference in the ball game last night. Apparently it's going to make a difference hopefully here tonight. Tigers need to get this run in now with the man at third and less than 2 outs.
Anthony Ghost can really run anyway. He got himself a base hit his last time up running from that left side of the batter's box. It took him about 3.4 seconds to get down to first base, which is really fast from that side of the plate.
Ball missing inside. 2-1 on Kinsler.
On that double in an air, it took Ghost 10 seconds to go from home plate to third base with the slide. Just over 10 seconds.
There's a soft liner caught by Longoria at third base. Ghost, nice job of getting back to the bag. 2 gone. That'll bring up Cabrera. So Miggy, who doubled in the first inning, will stand in now. And they'll employ that shift again to the left side of the infield.
I wouldn't be shocked here if they pitched around Miguel. They've got a couple of bases open. There's 2 outs. And regardless of what J.D. Martinez has done this year, and Miguel is still the best hitter on the team.
Up and in, 1-0. Cabrera is now 3 for 9 in the series, leads the American League in average and on base percentage. Kevin Cash looking on. And it missed inside again, 2-0.
That's another reason why you might not want to pitch to Miguel Cabrera in this particular situation.
That ball is up and away. Miggy's going to have to get himself out in this bat. Odorizzi wants nothing to do with him.
Nothing. And I can't blame him.
Nope, I can't either. And you know, it's funny because it really speaks to what kind of hitter Cabrera is when you're willing to put a guy on, and the guy on deck has 36 homers and over 90 RBI. Way high, ball 4. So he will take his base. Put runners at first and third now. Hey, Monday, September 21st at 7:08 p.m. The Tigers take on the White Sox, and the first 10,000 fans receive a free Miguel Cabrera 400th home run figurine. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
And first time up today for J.D. Martinez. Odorizzi was able to strike him out with that splange. That would be a splitter / changeup that tumbled down to the bottom of the strike zone that Aaron Seaby was able to block. He also started J.D. Martinez off with a fastball in that last plate appearance.
So again, the shift on for J.D. Entire right side of the infield open. Up and in.
And so far, Tigers doing a pretty nice job of laying off the elevated fastball that Odorizzi continues to feature.
Ghosts the runner at third, and Cabrera at first. High, towering fly ball, left center field. Hit pretty well to the track, going to the wall, leaping play out there by Brandon Guyer.
Oh, put a 10 on.
Man, oh man, that ball was hit a mile high and almost carried out. Guyer with a leaping catch. Fan you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast, brought to you by T-Mobile. Onward we go to the fourth inning in a scoreless ball game. Kyle Lobstein goes back to work, and the first one is hammered foul down the right field line off the bat of Brandon Guyer.
And Tampa continues to swing at that first pitch, and why not? And so far in this game, Lobstein 7 of 10 in first pitch strikes, but throwing lots of changeups, lots of cutters, lots of curveballs.
Guyer drives another one foul to right field. He'll be followed by Matuk and then Longoria, 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup tonight for the Rays. Only one hit surrendered by Lobstein, a single by Loney, but then he was erased on a double play. Here's the 0-2. Well, Guyer continues to go the other way, but foul.
I was wondering how in the world has Guyer been hit 18 times already this year by pitches. And then you take a look at where he stands in the batter's box. He stands right on top of the plate. And apparently because he stands right on top of the plate, he gets pitched inside aggressively.
The 18 leads all of baseball hit by pitches.
I mean, usually guys that have been hit 18 times are guys that are hitting 25, 30 home runs a year, guys that are driving in 100. But take a look at Guyer. 29 in the last 2 seasons. It's a human pinball machine.
Here's the 1-2. Driven towards center field, and that'll move Ghost back. One gone.
Pin cushion, I meant to say.
Well, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Mikey Matuk. Matuk hit a ground ball back up the middle in the first inning. Machado went a long way to his left and made a nice play. Ball one outside. Kyle Lobstein has looked a whole lot better tonight than he did in his last start against the Indians. Kyle gave up 8 hits, 6 runs in 4 1/3 against the Tribe.
Yeah, he looked rusty against Cleveland.
Yeah, that was his first start off the disabled list.
Today looks a lot more confident, finishing his pitches, keeping the ball down in the strike zone. He's also, and for the most part, he has stayed out of the heart of the plate too, which is important for him.
That start against the Tribe was his first since May the 23rd, and here were those final numbers. Taken out after 86 pitches. And he throws a strike on the outer edge. 3-1 to Mikey Matuk. That'll walk him. Ball 4. And just the second base runner of the game now for the Rays. Here's Evan Longoria. Flight out to center field in the first, 0 for 1.
Evan has only grounded into 8 double plays this year. He's got that classic uppercut swing, batting right-handed. A lot of fly balls off his bat. And a lot of those fly balls have left the ballpark in the last 8 days. 5 homers for Longoria in the last 8 games.
Well, in the first 8 games of this road trip that the Rays have been on, he's knocked in 10. Big night last night. That'll bounce in. 1 ball and 1 strike on the third baseman.
It's a nice block there by Avila. Very difficult block. A hard breaking ball down that he was able to get over and not only smother, but able to keep that ball in front of him. It's a nice job.
Now Lobstein ready with the 1-1 pitch. Just off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike. Longoria for the last few years has certainly been the headliner in their lineup. Evan right now is 29 years of age. He'll turn 30 in October. Throw back.
He is definitely the superstar on their team, but the guy in the on-deck circle, Logan Forsythe, he's been their most valuable player this season.
Longoria reached the 200 plateau in home runs earlier this year, 203 now, becoming the first Ray to hit 200. And he'll rip that one to left, base hit.
He's just locked in right now.
That'll put 2 on with 1 out.
He's got that straight up and down stance like a softball stance. He stands off the plate, closes up that front shoulder, and gets that fastball right over the plate and rips it to left field.
That'll be the second Rays hit of the night. Here is the aforementioned Logan Forsythe. Just 1 for 11 in the series, but as Rod mentioned, he's been awfully consistent this year. And Forsythe looks at a strike 0-1. He came over in a deal with San Diego, and it's a pretty good deal for the Rays. They got Forsythe, who's had a nice season. They got Brad Boxberger, who is closing games for them now.
That was a really good deal for Tampa.
Yep, some of them work out. Some of them don't, but Tampa's certainly happy with the results. Here's the 0-1. No balls, 2 strikes on Forsythe.
He's had a nice year, batting solid .285 with 15 homers, 55 driven in, and his on-base percentage is .360.
Lobstein having one of his lengthier innings here, courtesy of a walk and a single. Still only 1 out.
Still only 1 pitch from getting out of this jam as well, if he can get the ground ball.
Fouled away. Here's the progression of Forsythe. Pretty good.
Kind of came out of nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah. Certainly his best year.
It's amazing what an opportunity it will do for you at this level. All you need is a chance.
That on base percentage, as you mentioned, at .361, much higher than it was each of his last 2 years. The 0-2 runner's going, and it's looped in the air down the right field line, slicing away from JD. It's going to drop fair. 1 run will score. They're going to have to hold the back runner Longoria at third. Weren't sure if that ball would be caught or not. It's a double and an RBI.
Well, there's no way that was a hit and run, but apparently Matuk, who was on second base, he could basically tell when Lobstein was going to throw that ball home, and he got himself a pretty good jump. And Longoria, who was on first base, he took off as well as this ball was flared the opposite way for a stand-up double and an RBI. He started the runners on an 0-2 count.
By the time JD was able to dig it up, a run scores. Now second and third, 1 out. So 29th double of the year for Forsythe. And now here is Asdrubal Cabrera. Drilled toward the gap in left center field. That's going to get down, go to the wall, and score 2. Cabrera's on his way to second base, and he will pull in with a 2-run double.
And we told you that Lobstein was going to throw a lot of off-speed pitches here tonight, and now that the Tampa Bay Braves, they've got a wind of that. Here's a changeup, and it stays out over the heart of the plate, and that is now 16 consecutive games that Cabrera has hit safely in against Tigers pitching. That ball was whistled up the gap.
Easy 2 runs there for the Rays. Cabrera RBIs 45 and 6 with his 26th double of the year. And the Tigers already stirring in their bullpen now here in the 4th. Here is Tim Beckham. Looks like Buck Farmer is starting to warm up in the Detroit bullpen. Of course, last night the Tigers used 10 pitchers, but when you have the extra reinforcements of September, they can weather that kind of storm. Now Beckham with 1 out. Fouled away 0-1. There were 45 players used in last night's game and 403 pitches thrown in game 2 of the series.
And we saw every last one.
Yeah, we did. But it ended on a positive note with a walk-off win. 3-0. Rays have the lead here in the 4th inning. Beckham struck out, ending the 2nd, trying to drive in a run here with 1 out. Way outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lobstein was cruising along in this one until a 1-out walk to Mikey Matuk. Ooh, close, and he got him out at second base. Cabrera picked off. Kyle Lobstein helps himself out.
It's a pretty nice quick move here by Lobstein, and that glove was waiting for Asdrubal Cabrera. That's a planned play there between Kinsler and Lobstein. They felt like Cabrera was getting too big a secondary lead, which he was, and they were able to pick him off.
That is Lobstein's 2nd pickoff of the year.
And take a look at Ian Kinsler, really close to the bag. As soon as he breaks, and Lobstein knows it, and he fires the ball to second base.
Ian slapped that tag on him quickly. Cabrera just simply ran off the field. There was nothing to look at in terms of maybe challenging that play. 1-2 on Tim Beckham. Checked it, got him again. Strike 3 called. The 2nd time Beckham has been caught looking. However, the Rays scored 3 times. The Kansas City Royals, September 20th at 1:08 p.m. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free back-to-school Paws lunch cooler. How about that? Tickets can be had by calling 866-66-TIGER or visiting tigers.com.
Lunch cooler come in handy. Keep all your groceries kind of cool. Your sandwich, your drink, your apple.
Not to mention you got Paws' mug on it too.
Yeah.
Which makes it extra cool.
She's having a good time.
She is. See if the Tigers now can get the bats going. They're down 3-0 as Odorizzi goes back to work. Castellanos, Collins, and Marte here in the Tiger fourth. Nick looks at a strike called 1-1. 5-3 ground down his first at bat. Castellanos came in hitting over 300 in his last 21 games. Fouled straight back.
And the one thing that Nick really has done well the last couple of months, he's really improved in hitting the breaking balls, not nearly swinging at as many breaking balls out of the strike zone. He's been forcing the opposing pitchers to get the ball up, and when they have done that, he's put a good swing on the baseball. 15 homers, 66 driven in. Not bad for a guy playing in his second year in the big leagues.
Next RBI will be a career high. Fouled away.
After a couple of fastballs up, Odorizzi is going to go to the bottom of the strike zone right now with that splitter. But if you're Castellanos, you can't look for it. You simply have to recognize it and hopefully that it stays up in the strike zone.
Odorizzi has pitched out of a couple of jams in this game so far.
Here it comes.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. One away.
It's a nice job by Odorizzi. And the previous pitch was a fastball up. And then there's that splange.
It still kills me. Splange. Here's Collins.
What did Benoit call his? Vulcan change?
Vulcan change, yeah. Because of the grip.
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting names out there for the guys that kind of hold the same pitch the way that Odorizzi holds his.
Collins takes one outside. Well, we're talking about some of these Tigers that are trying to finish strong, whether it's Castellanos or Collins, who's done well in September. Gose has hit well in September. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. How important is that, Rod? And you can speak to this because you kind of lived it, to try and finish up strong, to kind of gain some momentum for the offseason and next year.
I think it's huge for Collins. There's no secret that left field might be a position that they will need some bodies next year. And if he shows that he can handle right-handed pitching, there's no doubt he'll at least get that opportunity going into spring training next year. Now, whether they want to platoon him with another guy to hit against left-handed pitching or not remains to be seen. But these last 3 weeks are huge for Collins.
Tyler had a single. He went the other way in his last at bat.
Because you want to prevent Al Avila, the general manager, from going out in the offseason and bringing back another left fielder. That's what you want to prevent him from doing.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes.
He's got that splitter going now.
3 strikeouts for Odorizzi. Saturday MLB on Fox returns as the AL East leading Blue Jays take on the wild card leading Yankees. And the Tigers and Indians square off in a game that you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on Fox and 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Also streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I heard there's a pretty good football game on Saturday night. Well, there's a lot of good football games on Saturday night, but I know you only have interest in one of those.
Yeah, there's one that just stands out from the rest.
It really does, doesn't it?
And that would be Michigan State and Oregon in East Lansing.
Ugh. Where's the private plane at, dude?
To fly me back to East Lansing?
No, me too.
Both of us?
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of bank. There's a ball inside to Marte, 2-0. We should hit up Gibby, maybe. Gibby's got his own plane.
He still got that plane?
I don't know.
I'm not riding with him, though.
Well, you don't trust him?
He's still flying it.
Here's the 2-0 to Marte, and it's in there 2-1. Yeah, it's going to be a fun ball game on Saturday night, to be sure. Odorizzi is looking for the 1-2-3 fourth. Fouled away, 2-2.
Marte's got some pop in that bat. 3 home runs when he was up here earlier in the season. He drove in 7. Had a nice year. And down in the minor leagues, he can play some third. He can play some first. He also provides some power off the bench.
Missed it outside. He could also run a little bit. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to steal a lot of bases, but he can stop a line pretty good. He's a mid-season International League All-Star. 65 driven in. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off, just got a piece of it, knocked it out of the glove of Arancibia. There is Avila waiting on deck. Odorizzi has struck out 3 in this ball game. And got him, make it 4. Strike 3 called. He strikes out the side here in the 4th. Let's go to the 5th at Comerica. Services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here at Comerica Park on a splendid night for baseball here at the Ball Yard. 3-0 Rays have the lead. Tigers going for the sweep. And the Rays in the 5th inning have the bottom 3 coming up against Kyle Lobstein, Loney Schaefer, Arancibia. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Rays. No runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. Lobstein works at home, missing low and away, 1-0. So Loney comes into this game hitting .382 career against Tigers pitching, and he also had a single in the 3rd. He's been able to make a living off the Tiger staff. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 on Loney.
And James Loney has outstanding eye-hand coordination. He's always had that, even when he was playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And because he played first base, the Dodgers always wanted him to hit for power. And that's never really been a part of Loney's game.
He also has excelled in a part of the game that can be really difficult, and that's pinch hitting, because he is 5 for 5 this year as a pinch hitter.
That is rare for a guy that's never really ever done that. He's been an everyday player.
There's a strike on the outer edge, 3-1.
He got a pinch hit knock last night, didn't he?
He did. In fact, the Rays had 3 pinch hit singles in that game. 3-1. Inside, ball 4. Leadoff man is on. So another walk given up by Lobstein. Gave up a walk in the 4th, and that started what turned out to be a 3-run inning.
He got Schaefer to ground into a double play back in the 3rd on the first pitch changeup that was tailing away from Richie. Hit it right to Machado, the shortstop.
Schaefer, the batter, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. As he was last inning, Buck Farmer now warming up again in the Detroit bullpen. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Schaefer. Schaefer's got some power. In fact, he's hit 28 home runs this year when you count his minor league numbers and his big league numbers. That one missed. 2 balls, 1 strike.
It's a nice job by Schaefer laying off that cut fastball.
Schaefer in his second stint with the big club this year was called up on September the 1st.
Actually, that was a breaking ball that he laid off of. Curveball.
Missed again. 3-1. So Schaefer finds himself in a good count here as the ratio on Lobstein looks like this. Headed back toward the seats and out of play. 3-2 now on Schaefer.
And you wonder what Kevin Cash will do here with Loney, who's on first base. Loney not the fleetest of foot as far as speed is concerned. And if he does start him and Lobstein gets the strikeout, there's no doubt that Avila will have a really good shot at throwing Loney out at second. We'll see what decision Kevin Cash and their manager decides to make.
Might be a little bit risky.
I agree with you.
Runner not going, and it's popped up. Foul ground, first base side. Marte, 1 gone. It'll bring up Aaron Sevilla. Popped up to the shortstop Machado in his first at bat.
Having a nice series, though.
Yeah, it really is. Aaron Sevilla had a single and a double. A couple of singles in the ball game last night, actually, and a double. Homered in game 1. There's the throwback. Aaron Sevilla's homer in game 1 a couple of nights ago went 464 feet.
Ooh.
He got a hold of one.
Second longest home run hit in this ballpark by a visiting player.
Strike on the outer edge, 0-1.
J.D. Martinez hit the furthest home run in this ballpark as a visiting player when he was playing for the Houston Astros.
That is no shocker. The 0-1. We'll get back out of play. 0-2 on Aaron Sevilla.
No mistakes here by Lobstein with the 0-2 count.
Aaron Sevilla was with the Orioles earlier this year, then released. That was back in the month of April, and then picked up by the Rays. A little bit outside. Care to guess what the JP stands for?
No, I don't know what it is. What is it?
Jonathan Paul, Aaron Sevilla.
Jonathan Paul.
Had big numbers with the Blue Jays when he first came up.
A lot of power. He's always had a lot of sock in his bat. The big guy, too.
And that is on the outside corner. Strike 3. Aaron Sevilla knew it.
It's a good pitch. It's a ball that started off the plate. It's disguised as a ball, and the break on the curveball allowed it to catch the outside corner. And look at the glove of Avila. Right there on the corner, and he holds it there long enough to give Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire, a really good look at it. He started that ball a foot off the outside corner.
Here's Brandon Guyer. Bouncing ball right side. It'll find a hole out of the reach of Ian Kinsler. Advanced Loney to second base. There are 2 men on now with 2 outs. Guyer's first hit of the night. Rays now have 5 hits. Mikey Matuk steps in. His walk got it started in the 3-run fourth. He came around to score on a double by Forsythe. Little chopper to third, foul. And gloved beautifully by their third base coach. That is Charlie Montoyo down there. Oh, 0-1 on Matuk. Evan Longoria waiting on deck. Might as well get this guy. I want no part of him.
Especially with runners in scoring position.
That'll get back out of play. 0-2. And so Lopstein now is about to throw his 70th pitch of the night. Matuk, another former first rounder that was selected in the 2011 draft out of LSU. Fouled away.
I like the idea there to go inside with the 0-2 fastball, but if you're Lopstein and Avila wants this pitch, you have to make sure you get it inside. This ball leaked back over the heart of the plate, and he got away with one.
Missed it inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rays have quite a few first rounders in their lineup tonight. Matuk, also Longoria, of course. Schaefer, Tim Beckham, all first round picks. Here's Longoria waiting on deck. He's been the most accomplished of all those names. Here's the 1-2. Got him. Strike 3 called. Matuk is caught looking. 4 strikeouts now for Lopstein. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. On September the 18th, the Tigers hosting the Royals at 7:08 p.m. Get a ticket plus a special Pink Out the Park t-shirt by purchasing at tigers.com/pinkout. Here come the Tigers now. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, they will have Avila, Machado, and Gose facing Jake Odorizzi.
Well, if you're the Tigers now, you need to start jumping on the first pitch fastballs that Odorizzi is featuring, because you want to stay away from that splitter. It's a really good pitch for him so far tonight. Jump on the fastball.
Rays are shifting against Avila. That first fastball was way outside. 1-0. Alex hit right into that shift his first time up, right into the glove of the second baseman Beckham. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And familiar territory, unfamiliar territory these days for Avila, who has been an everyday player for the last number of years here in the big leagues. And of course, when he was drafted, he's an everyday player too. So he's getting acclimated to basically a backup role these days.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is drilled to right field. That'll drop in, base hit. So Avila is aboard with a leadoff single. Odorizzi had struck out the side in the 4th. He is greeted with a base hit. Here's Dixon Machado. Popped out his first time up. Tigers have just recorded their 5th hit. Machado checked it high. 1-0. Oh, he went around and take it back. Tim Welke says make it 0-1. Dixon a long look. Dave Clark in the coaching box at 3rd. Here's the 0-1. Strike called. 0-2.
And first pitch fastball upstairs. Second pitch thrown by Odorizzi. A breaking ball.
Ripped to left field. An 0-2 pitch is a single for Machado. And the Tigers are in business now.
Anthony Gose, in his last time up, he doubled and he was able to get to third base on the air in the center field. And a couple of days ago, Rajai Davis also tripled in a game against the Cleveland Indians. So we thought we'd put them side by side in contact and see who was able to get to third base the fastest. Anthony Gose with that blazing speed. Rajai Davis also with real good speed. Rajai turned the corner a little bit faster, but then Rajai's slide caused him into getting there a little bit later because he got over there and grabbed the bat with his hand. 11.3 seconds for Rajai, 11.1 seconds for Anthony Gose.
Gose is your winner.
Yeah, I think with a clean slide, Rajai may have had him.
I think you're right. Here is Gose now with 2 on. Showing bunt. He'll drop it down back to the mound. They got to play it 3rd. Better hurry up, and they get the force.
That's good communication there by Aaron Sebia because I'm sure Odorizzi was going to first base. Take a look at Odorizzi when the ball gets into his glove. He's getting ready to turn his body toward first base to get the out there. But then Aaron Sebia must have told him third base, third base, third base because he kind of redirected himself and got the out there. If you're Anthony Gose and you're going to bunt in that situation, man, you got to get that ball down the third base line. You got to get it away from the pitcher, especially with Avila running from second. And for those of you at home, that sign did not come from Brad Ausmus. Gose did that on his own.
Anthony has been doing that a whole lot more the last month. Kinsler 0 for 2, hit into a double play and lined out his last time up. He'll drive it foul back out of play on 1. 3-0 Rays have the lead. Tigers threaten here in the bottom of the 5th. Lobstein surrendered the 3 runs in the 4th, but then bounced back nicely. A scoreless 5th inning. Fouled away again. 0-2 now on Ian Kinsler.
Everything that we heard about Odorizzi coming into the game, he has kind of pitched that same way. Fastballs up, splitters down, an occasional breaking ball to keep guys off balance.
Odorizzi about to throw his 75th pitch. Tigers have leadoff singles by Avila and Machado from the bottom of the lineup. Now the top trying to drive him in. Soft line drive into right field, slicing. It's going to be caught on the run by Matuk. Here's a throw to third base. That's not in time.
What an arm by Matuk. Are you kidding me?
That throw kind of took me by surprise.
I mean, I didn't think this was going to be close. Had this ball been on target, it would have been a much closer play.
Wow.
That is some arm strength.
So with 2 outs and runners at the corners, Machado able to move up. Ghost stays at first. Here is Miguel Cabrera. Double and a walk for Cabrera. The last time they faced Miggy, Odorizzi just flat out pitched around him, gave him absolutely nothing to hit.
He could do the same exact thing here if he wanted to do so. And he still has an open base, even though the open base is second base right now.
And he missed outside 1-0.
That is 5 straight balls to Miguel Cabrera, all fastballs.
The last time he walked Cabrera, Odorizzi took his chances against J.D. Martinez, who nearly hit one out. Fly deep to center field to end the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball up. One ball, one strike. Machado at third base, Ghost at first. Gapper scores 2. Way up and in. 2-1. So Cabrera in a good hitter's count here. We'll see what Odorizzi gives him. Checked it. Did he go? Did not, says Tim Wilkie.
Ooh.
3-1.
You get those kind of calls when you've won 3 batting titles and you're about to win your 4th batting title. Miguel asked for a check himself, I think.
He always does. Let's see.
Ooh, that's about as far as you can go.
I think he held up. Everybody's asking for the field. Swing and a miss.
Thrown a couple fastballs right by Mickey. One at 92 and one at 93.
So what is it about that letter high fastball that makes it so tough to get to?
Well, he's a tall guy and he throws from a high 3/4 arm slot, and the ball comes out of his hand high, and as a hitter you think that ball is going to come down, but it does not come down, therefore very difficult to lay off of.
Runner will go on 3-2, and Miggy swings and strikes out.
Ooh, how about that?
Odorizzi humping up to 94 miles an hour on that one. That is his 5th strikeout.
single, a walk, a double there by Logan Forsythe, followed by another double by Asdrubal Cabrera. And the Tampa Bay Rays were able to tack 3 runs on the Tigers in the top half of the 4th inning.
And so far that lead is held up. It was a pretty good start to the bottom of the 5th by the Tigers. 2 on, nobody out, but they failed to score. And here we go now to the 6th inning. Evan Longoria leads it off for the Rays. Longoria, Forsythe, Cabrera. There's a strike on the outer edge, 0-1.
That's something that Lobstein has done very well this evening. He has really been able to paint that fastball away at about 84 miles an hour, 2-seam variety.
Good bender there, got him to swing and miss, 0-2.
Tailing fastball on the first pitch, and he comes back with a breaking ball going the opposite way to tie up Longoria to get ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes.
Longoria takes one that sails outside. 1-2 on the Rays' third baseman. Here's the comparison between the starters. Fouled off.
He's got Longoria set up for a fastball inside. I don't know if Avila will call for it or not, but he might get the strikeout if he goes in there. But if Avila does call for it, if you're Lobster, you can't be afraid to go in there with that fastball aggressively. Going changeup.
Outside, 2-2. How do you see Lobstein's offseason and then spring training next year? I think certainly have a chance to make the rotation.
I think he's going to get a lot stronger in the offseason. I don't think that shoulder's quite a 100%. Even though he's out there pitching, he doesn't have the same kind of life and finish on his pitches as he had last year and at the beginning of this year. So I think that he will use the offseason to get on a nice workout program and get strong and come to spring training and try to win one of those jobs in that starting rotation. There's going to be some openings for sure.
He made 6 rehab starts between Toledo and Lakeland. Bouncing in 3-2. That's why I think the Tigers feel it's so important to get Sanchez back in there before the end of the year, and Daniel Norris as well.
Yeah, you don't want any uncertainties going into the offseason where the guys will be ready to go to spring training or not, because you didn't pay close attention to an injury they had down the stretch.
Longoria is out of there swinging. It's 5 strikeouts now for Kyle.
Every single pitch that he threw to Longoria for the most part was away from him, with the exception of the second pitch, which he bounced, which Longoria swung at.
Here's Logan Forsythe. Ball outside. Well, the Tigers going into spring camp next year certainly will have a lot of options. You mentioned that Lobstein could be a possibility, and the other 2 guys, Norris and Boyd, who've pitched. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is in there for a strike. Of course, Michael Fulmer had a tremendous year down in the minor leagues this year. Was acquired in the Yoenis Cespedes deal.
Yeah, he would have been called up to the major leagues had he not gotten to his innings limit, but they really love Fulmer's skill set.
2-1.
Not to mention, and I know he's pitching very well right now, that would be Drew Verhagen out of that Tigers bullpen, but he is a starter by trade, and he might get an opportunity to start again.
High fly ball, right field, hit pretty well. JD is on the run to the track, to the wall, and it's going to carry out as Logan Forsythe muscles up and hits one out the other way. A solo shot here in the 6th. And it's 4-0 Rays. It's a pretty good pop down here the other way.
Well, if you're Forsythe, you knew that he was not going to come inside on you because you had just watched the previous at-bat to Longoria. And everything that he threw to Longoria for the most part was away, so Forsythe looked away as well, and he caught up with that fastball about 85. It's only his 2nd home run this year of his 16 to right field.
Swing and a miss by Cabrera. No balls, 1 strike. Cabrera had a big 2-run double in the 3-run fourth. There's a strike called, 0-2. Asdrubal now has 42 extra base hits this year, which leads all American League shortstops. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Cabrera's out of there. 6 strikeouts now for Lobstein. We check in with Matt Shepard. Game break time. Big Poppy got that chain bouncing off his chest.
His Mr. T starter kit.
Apparently so.
Yeah, he had it rolling.
When you're rolling in on 500 home runs, you can do that.
You can do whatever you want to do. He had his shirt all unbuttoned, too. Big Poppy.
Tim Beckham, the batter. That chain was just bouncing all over the place.
Knock your tooth out.
I know it. Beckham's had a tough night. He's been called out on strikes twice. Well, he's just driven one in the air to deep left center field. And he no longer is having a tough night. That's out of here.
Yeah, that's why they like the youngster and Tim Beckham. That's his 8th home run of the year. He's got some serious bat speed.
2 solo shots here in the 6th inning. It's 5-0 Rays.
Offense really has not been the problem lately for the Tampa Bay Rays. It's been their pitching and their defense. Their offense since August 1st has been one of your better offenses in the American League.
So Brad Ausmus comes out, makes a pitching change. Wall side windows pitching change. Here comes Buck Farmer. We'll be back. Out of the bullpen now for the Tigers.
I mean, Buck Farmer has a big arm. Fastball gets up to 95, on occasion 96. He's got a nice changeup. He also has a good breaking ball. But that 7.54 earned run average obviously is very high for Farmer. And that's why he finds himself pitching out the bullpen these days. He's had 5 starts this year.
Farmer down in Toledo was 7-3 with a 4.15 ERA. 16 starts with the Mud Hens. Been up and down several times this year. This is his 4th stint with Detroit.
And fastball, slider, changeup. Buck has 3 pitches.
Here is James Loney. He'll step in now with 2 outs. Lobstein leaves with 6 strikeouts in the game, but 5 runs. Loney is single and a walk. Missed it? No, it didn't. Strike 1. Tim Timmons got me again.
And first pitch, 94 miles an hour. Is he late pulling up that right arm?
He's not quite Tim McClellan, but he's pretty close. Here's the 0-1 pitch. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Okay, that's a ball. 1-1. Loney in the series, couple of hits. He snapped an 0 for 11 with a pinch hit single last night. That's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Final game in this series. Tigers on the road beginning tomorrow night. They got a 4-game weekend set with the Indians in Cleveland. And it's on to Minnesota. That's in there. A strike call. 2-2.
Yeah, 4 straight fastballs thrown by Farmer to Loney. Every last one of them has hit 94 on the radar gun.
That's low and in. 3-2.
And that was a slider at 88. Haven't seen the Buck Farmer changeup yet. And his changeup is probably a better pitch for him than his slider is right now.
Right back up the middle and right by Farmer into center field. It's a second hit tonight for Loney. He'll keep the inning going for the Rays. And it's going to bring up Richie Schaefer. Sometimes, Rod, it's hard to tell the progress of the young pitchers that the Tigers have brought to the big leagues. I mean, Farmer last year began the season in A-ball and then got to the big leagues.
A-ball, AA, AAA.
Swing and miss, ugly swing there.
He's a stuff guy. And the breaking ball right there, a good breaking ball. He's got a good fastball. He's got a good changeup. Was able to dominate the minor leagues. But when you come to the big leagues, you need that third pitch if you're going to be a starter. Fastball, changeup, no problem for Farmer. But that breaking ball has been the one pitch that really hasn't been mastered by him yet. And I like the fact that Avila continues to call it, though. It's probably going to determine whether he is a future starter or a bullpen piece, too, whether he's able to find that good arm slot with his slider.
Well, Farmer last year in the Midwest League was voted as having the best breaking ball, but that was in the Midwest League. It'll pop up in the air to center and goes just about on his tracks to end the inning. 2 runs in on the home runs by Beckham and Forsythe.
Homered again last night. It came in the 8th inning. It was his 36th home run of the year. his 23rd home run, 7th inning or later as a Tiger. And they put him on a list with some very impressive company, guys that have homered 36 times or more as an outfielder. Rocky Colavito did it 3 times. Willie Horton, the last to do it, back in 1968. And, of course, you have J.D. Martinez doing it this year.
J.D. is 0 for 2 in this game. Hit a ball deep to center field his last time up. Odorizzi starts him off with a fastball up, 1-0. 5 runs on 8 hits for the Rays. No runs on 6 hits for the Tigers. Tigers, though, have left 6 already in this game. 1-0 has popped up. Shallow right field. Mikey Matuk. 1 out. Odorizzi spent some time on the DL this year in May.
He was outstanding before he went on the DL. A 2.47 ERA. The opponent's batting average was just a shade over 200. And you can see the numbers as far as the earned run average in his 11 post DL starts, and nearly 2 runs higher.
Odorizzi has not won on the road since May 31st in Baltimore. And he's not used to having 5 runs of support to work with. He mentioned earlier that he gets no runs, really. I mean, he's averaged, I think, the lowest in the American League, a little over 3.
You're absolutely right.
3.16. It's not a lot. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Nick swings right through it. 1 ball, 1 strike. There you go.
And Corey Kluber on that list. CC Sabathia, Jose Quintana, and Scott Kazmir. Odorizzi, the only right-hander on that list.
Low and away, 2-1. He's 25 years old, born in Highland, Illinois. Led the American League rookies last year with 174 strikeouts, which was 1 shy of Kazmir's club record. 2-1 is sprayed back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Castellanos. The second baseman, Beckham, shading a little bit more toward the right of the bag now, but still playing to pull. Here's the 2-2. Got him, strike 3.
Odorizzi straight dealing here tonight against the Tigers. A bale tire pitch by pitch. Tigers have laid off the fastballs up. So what has Odorizzi done? Well, he's gone south of the knees. And they have not been able to lay off these balls down. Fastballs, splitters, and then a fastball at 94. Right down the middle in the 3-2 count to strike out Miguel Cabrera.
Here's the last one to Castellanos. There's a strike on Tyler Collins.
Struck the Tigers out 8 times when they saw him earlier this year. He had 6 strikeouts tonight against Tiger bats.
Ooh, he threw that one by him at 93, 0-2.
He's feeling it out there a little bit, isn't he?
Seems like it.
Pitching with a lot of confidence.
He's been involved in a couple of pretty high-profile trades. The Greinke deal several years back, the Brewers and Royals, and the James Shields deal.
Yeah, those are 2 really good deals. 2 ace pitchers, Greinke and Shields, which kind of gives you an idea of what the Kansas City Royals and the Tampa Bay Rays think of him.
Playing to pull on Collins, the 0-2. That'll ricochet off Arancibia. And the home plate umpire Tim Timmons will give Arancibia a few moments here. One ball, 2 strikes on Collins. Tyler, a single and a strikeout in this game. Rays got 3 in the 4th, added 2 more in the 6th. Again, the 1-2. Bouncing ball into the shift. Beckham scoots over to make the play. Collins is out. So are the Tigers. They go 1-2-3 in the 6th. Yankees and the Tigers Indians square off in a game you can see only on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern on Fox and 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Buck Farmer goes back to the hill after taking over in the 6th inning. Or the 5th rather. He's Farmer replacing Kyle Lobstein, who early on in this game looked like he might be on tonight, Rod. And just kind of fell apart in that 3-run 4th, and they tacked on 2 more homers in the 6th.
He faced the minimum batters through the first 3 innings. He gave up 1 hit, but that was erased with a double play ball. And then in the 4th inning, a walk, a single, a couple of doubles allowed Tampa to put 3 on the board. So they made a nice adjustment tonight against Lobstein.
Aaron Sevilla, the number 9 hitter, drills one deep to left field. That ball is way back, and that ball is going to go as the Rays have just hit their 4th home, or make it 3rd home run of this game, and all of them in the last 2 innings.
2nd home run of this series for Aaron Sevilla.
Aaron Sevilla gets his 4th. And 3 solo shots now in the last 2 innings for the Rays.
And apparently something wrong with Buck Farmer, Kevin Rand, and also Brent Osmond out to take a look at him.
That one was placed on a tee, and Aaron Sevilla didn't miss it. I think they want Farrell. That's what Brad said. Get Farrell warmed up, and Buck is coming out of the game. Did you see anything? I didn't. Be a well side windows pitching change.
We'll take a look when we get back.
So Farmer is out of the game. We'll be back. By Buck Farmer in this game, he had to leave.
Yeah, Alex Avila noticed something after he threw this fastball that basically was flat right over the heart of the plate, and Avila watching Buck Farmer noticed something, and then he called for the training staff to come out. And once Brad and Kevin got out there, it didn't take very long for them to decide that it was best he come out of the game. And then Jeff Jones said something to Buck, and then Buck basically pointed toward his right arm. I couldn't tell whether that was the elbow area or not, but we'll see what happens here.
So the Tigers now forced to go to the bullpen. Jeff Farrell will check in.
And 2.58 ERA for Farrell in the minor leagues. Only 3 games at this level, and logging 4 innings, gave up 5 earned runs since he's been here.
So Farrell will come in and continue to take his warm-up pitches until he's good to go, and we'll step aside and be back to Comerica Park. Tigers trailing tonight 6-0 as we play here in the top of the 7th inning. The home run by J.P. Arancibia was the last batter faced by Buck Farmer, who left with an apparent arm injury. So Jeff Farrell is on now to face Brandon Geyer, who will bat here with nobody on, nobody out. And Geyer looks at ball 1 high.
And Farrell has a fastball that will probably top out here this evening at about 93 miles an hour. He also has a slider, a curveball and a changeup. No slider for Farrell.
It'll miss low. 2 balls, no strikes. Second appearance, or stint, I should say, from the minor leagues for Farrell.
And if Geyer gets that fastball here, he'll be taking a healthy swing at it.
He did and fouled it back 2-1. Farrell was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, lives in Wilmington. 26th rounder in 2010 out of Pitt Community College in North Carolina.
Charlotte, real nice city in North Carolina.
I have never been there, but I hear it's nice.
It's nice.
That one missed low, 3-1. .6'4", 205 for the 24-year-old Farrell. Here's the 3-1. Geyer sends a ground ball to short. Scooped up by Machado, whose throw is in time. 1 out. Dixon playing a pretty good shortstop tonight. He's had a lot of chances.
And he's fielded every last one of them flawlessly.
We'll bring up Mikey Matuk. Matuk a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out. It'll drop low, 1 ball and no strikes. High drive into deep left center field. That ball is tagged. And Matuk has just hit one out.
Whoa.
Holy smokes.
Oh, man.
That was no cheapie, Rod.
No, it wasn't. I was watching Anthony Ghost in center field, and it's 420 out there in straightaway center. And Ghost took a couple of steps back, and then he just watched that one fly into the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen. He clobbered this fastball.
So Matuk in this series, a double, a triple, and now a homer. And that is 4 solo shots in the last 2 innings. That one was killed. This is their 10th hit of the night. It's now 7-0 in favor of the Rays. Hit speed on that was 101 off the bat.
Anything over 100 is really good.
Longoria takes low. Longoria single, scored a run in the 4th. Way inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Seven runs, 10 hits for the Rays this evening. That back-to-back 2-run innings now. Here's the 2-1. High, 3 balls, 1 strike. Now Farrell ready with the 3-1 pitch. Outside, he lost in ball 4. Longoria reaching for the 2nd time tonight. It'll be a 1-out base runner, and then it's going to bring Jeff Jones out. With Logan Forsythe due up. So 2nd time this year the Rays have hit 4 home runs in a game. They did it against the White Sox on August 4th.
That's right around the time they became much more aggressive, and from an offensive standpoint, sort of a change in philosophy. At the beginning of the year, Tampa Bay Rays hitters were taking a lot of pitches, taking a lot of first pitch strikes, but once the calendar turned to August, they became much more aggressive early in counts, and they've been aggressive here tonight.
Here's Logan Forsythe. Been a big night for Forsythe. Homer, double, 2 RBIs. Ball 1. Farrell down in the minor leagues this year had recorded 16 saves in 2 spots. AA Erie, AAA Toledo. We'll see Tigers minor league pitcher of the month in June. Here's the 1-0. 2-0.
Yeah, this much we do know. I don't care who you are and what level you're pitching at. You can't continue to get yourself in 2-0 counts and 3-1 counts. Predictable fastball counts when your fastball tops out at 92 miles an hour.
Had a good rip and it's fouled straight back. 2 balls, 1 strike on Logan Forsythe. Forsythe earlier this year had 9 hits in a 3-game series with the Orioles. We've talked about the consistent player he's been this year for the Rays.
He was player of the week last week in the American League, hit over 500. And did Forsythe first week of September.
Now Farrell has fallen farther behind, 3-1. Cabrera waiting on deck. Checked it. They will appeal. Yes, says Tim Welke. Full count now, 3-2 on Forsythe. Good call.
And first base umpire Tim Welke has had to make quite a few calls already tonight via the check swing.
Just got a piece of that one.
That is a good pitch. It's a confidence pitch. And that's also a pitch where Farrell was trying to get that ground ball to get him out of this inning, and nearly got it off the bat of Forsythe. It's a changeup. It's down. The result's going to be a ground ball.
Up and in. He lost it. Ball 4. So back-to-back walks. 3 straight have reached now against Farrell. He's going to bring on Asdrubal Cabrera up.
And first at bat this evening by Asdrubal Cabrera, batting left-handed.
More contact with the Tigers bullpen. They'll begin to stir down there in left field. 2-run double by Asdrubal Cabrera proved to be a big hit back in the 4th that made a 1-0 game a 3-0 game.
And Cabrera batting .255 coming into play tonight, batting left-handed, hitting .288, and batting right-handed coming into play.
Swing and a miss.
Good change piece there thrown by Farrell.
Lobstein started. Farmer came on and had to be relieved here by Farrell in the 7th inning after Buck left with an apparent arm injury. Here's the 0-1. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Farrell has come out of the bullpen, has thrown 21 pitches, but 8 of those have missed the strike zone. Here's the 1-1. Drilled high in the air to left field. Collins moving back. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Runners will hold. Cabrera retired, and now Tim Beckham will stand in. Beckham homered a solo shot in the 6th inning, his only hit tonight. .238 on the year for Beckham. Couple of walks. Longoria and Forsythe, the base runners for the Rays, and there's the ball low. 1-0. That is Valdez, the right-hander, beginning to warm up down in the Detroit bullpen. I mentioned the Tigers last night used 10 pitchers in that game. A game like that happens before September call-ups, and you probably have trouble.
You'd have a position player pitching.
Yeah, no doubt. And now the count has gone to 2-0.
And that's one thing that major league managers have afforded the luxury of doing in the month of September. They could match up with the opposing manager. If he makes a move, you've got a couple different moves you can make. You can't do that so much during the regular season when you only have 25 men on your roster.
Fouled away, 2-1. There is some resistance to that now, though, as a lot of managers, including Brad Ausmus, are in favor of saying, okay, bring up as many as you want, but you need a 25-man roster every night.
I think that Rob Manfred, the new commissioner of baseball, is going to be forced into making some changes with the rules as far as the call-ups in September are concerned. Too many managers are starting to complain about it now.
Beckham takes inside, 3-1.
It was almost like instant replay. It took a long time and a lot of complaining before they implemented instant replay. I think the same thing is going to happen with the 40-man roster.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Strike call, 3-2. Well, I think it's a good idea. You're playing the game one way for 6 months, and then the final month of the season, when really the games mean the most, you've got to change the rules a little bit by allowing more players.
Yeah, I kind of like the fact that you have all the players at your disposal, but you have to designate a certain number that you can use that evening.
Runners go on 3-2, and down goes Beckham, who fouled that one off his foot. Man, oh man, that is really hurting right now.
And it looked like he hit it right off of his left front foot. Ooh, right off the top of the instep.
There is absolutely no padding on that instep either, man. That is all ball or all bone, and that thing just drilled him.
And the one thing about where he hit that ball off his foot, I know because I've done it many, many times. Not only does it hurt on the inside of the foot, but the outside of the ankle starts to hurt as well.
So now Beckham will step back in, his foot throbbing. And waiting on a 3-2. The runners again will be on the move here with 2 outs. And a broken bat, little looper into left field. That's going to drop, base hit out of the reach of Machado. Another run will score. Beckham gets his second RBI of the night, and it's 8-0 Rays.
Everything going right tonight for Tampa. That is a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that's upstairs, the hardest pitch that Farrell's thrown today. But the fact of the matter is the ball was up, allowed Beckham to muscle that ball over Dixon's head.
Nearly got to it, but not quite there. That is the 11th hit of the night now for the Rays. They scored 3 here in the 7th.
In the first half of the year, they very seldom got 10 hits in a game. Second half of the year, they're basically getting 10 hits a night. Tampa Bay Ray hitters.
Loney's been on base 3 times. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Meanwhile, Odorizzi's probably wondering what in the world with all these runs. He has not gotten this kind of support for the most part. It's also been a lengthy sit down for him. Here's the 0-1.
Farrell has not thrown many breaking balls here in this inning. It's pretty much been fastball, changeup.
Farrell already has thrown 31 pitches here in the 7th.
He's throwing more balls than strikes.
One and 2. Loney looks at a ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Rays first baseman.
This might be his last batter if he loses Loney.
Loney is the 8th man to bat in the inning. The only guy that hasn't hit is that guy right there, Richie Schaefer.
And Valdez in the Tigers bullpen should be ready to go.
Fouled away. Rays have 2 doubles, 4 homers, and 5 singles in this game. All 4 of their home runs are solo shots. And Farrell again with the 2-2. Loney fights it off right back to the on deck circle. Schaefer had to duck out of the way.
And Farrell throwing a lot harder here tonight than he normally does. Fastball usually clocked at 92.
Bob Logan handing out a souvenir. Attaboy, Logie. Wave, Bob.
Bob got his specs on.
Yeah, he does.
His cheaters on.
Ground ball, base hit left field. Here comes Forsythe to third. They're going to stop him there. That's going to load the bases. That's going to be it for Farrell. Brad's got to go to the bullpen here again. In an 8-0 ball game, they are loaded up. Another pitching change here at Comerica Park. Here comes Valdez. And as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo, your strongest fan photo, to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast. It is brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, here is the latest to come out of the Tigers bullpen. That would be the right-hander Jose Valdez.
And Valdez in 42 games this year in Toledo, 57 innings, the ERA 3.32, 43 strikeouts. So he's a hard thrower. He's averaging a strikeout per game down there, but he also a little erratic in that strike zone. 38 base on balls. That's way too high.
Third stint with the big club this year, was called up prior to the game on Friday. In his major league debut earlier this year in Baltimore, that was at the end of July.
Fastball slider change. And fastball tops out at about 95. Average fastball anywhere from 91 to 93. And thrown by Jose.
Schaefer is 0 for 3, including a double play ball. And Valdez missing inside, 1-0. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 3 runs in. They've scored 5 of their 8 in the last 2 innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He popped him up. Foul ground, first base side, and Marte comes in to make the play, and that finally ends the inning. They send 9 men to the plate. We go to the stretch. Wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. So Odorizzi is done for the ninth. They will bring in the left-hander now to come out of the bullpen. That is C.J. Riefenhauser.
Yeah, Riefenhauser pitching in his 9th game, 7 2/3 innings, 8.22 ERA, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks.
By the way, did you know that with 12 letters in his last name, he is tied with Jason Isringhausen as the longest surname in Rays history?
Really?
Isringhausen. Riefenhauser. Some defensive changes as well for the Rays. Franklin comes into play second base, moving Beckham to short. Maley is the new catcher, and Riefenhauser the pitcher. So we're ready now for the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Marte Avila Machado against the lefty, and the first one almost hit him. Marte pop up and a strikeout against Odorizzi in his 2 at-bats against their starter. It'll dive inside. 2 balls, no strikes. There's the ball outside. 3-0 now the count on Marte. Tigers have the 7, 8, 9 men coming up here in the 7th inning.
And Riefenhauser is more of a command guy. A fastball, not all that hard. Tops out at about 88. Also has a slider and a changeup. Not going to overpower you.
It's in there, a strike.
It's about as good as it gets as far as his fastball is concerned. That last one was 89.
A September 1st call up, and it's up and in. Ball 4. Leadoff man is on.
And take a look at this, Mario. If you were the Tampa Bay Rays, you were elated at the fact that when you got to the ballpark today, there were no Davises and there were no McCanns. This is what the McCanns and the Davises have done against them on this current 9-game road trip. Chris Davis homered 3 times against them. Brian McCann in New York, he left the building twice. And, of course, Rajay, 3 homers against him in this series, and James McCann chipped in as well. So the McCanns and the Davises not real kind on this 9-game road trip to Tampa Bay Ray pitching.
There's a strike called on Avila. Now, who dug that up?
I had him dig it up.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And none of those guys are related.
Avila, the batter, a single and a ground out.
You remember the Hatfields and the McCoys, right?
I do. Davidsons and the McCanns. 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila. Riefenhauser's been up with the big club up and down the last couple of years. Broke in with the Royals in 2012. And a strike on the outer edge. 1-2 now on Avila.
And nice little bender there thrown by Riefenhauser at 78 miles an hour.
Playing to pull against the left-hander Avila. Romero is warming up. And a strike called, and Avila caught looking.
And back-to-back breaking balls thrown to Avila, the second of which Avila did not like. Did not like this ball being called a strike by Tim Timmons, and apparently Avila was correct.
I don't like it either.
That ball off the plate. Kevin Cash, their manager, has had to dip into that bullpen quite often this year. And they have thrown a lot of innings out of their bullpen.
The most of any team in the American League. There's a strike called on Dixon Machado.
And Tampa's one of those teams, like many teams these days, that rely heavily on the statistical data. And they have some data that tells them that once that pitcher, whether it be a starter, gets to that third time around the batting order, they simply take him out of the game because they feel like the numbers against the starter increase. But the problem of that, and the problem with that, is if your starters aren't pitching but 5 innings a game, you're going to use your bullpen more than any other bullpen. Innings, saves, holds, #1 in the American League.
The other problem with that, in my mind, is how do you develop guys? I mean, if they're getting taken out of the game in the 5th or 6th inning.
Yeah, really the only one that they've taken the kid gloves off is Chris Archer. He's the only one allowed to go deep in games. The Tigers were able to dodge Chris Archer in this series. There's their manager, Kevin Cash, 37 years old. He is the youngest manager in professional sports, not just baseball, all of professional sports.
Machado hits a ground ball to third. This could be 2, 5, 4, 3, and a double play ends the inning. We'll go to the 8th here at Comerica. These are expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here in downtown Detroit, the Rays have a healthy lead over the Tigers as we go to the 8th inning. 8-0 in favor of Tampa Bay as they look to avoid the sweep here at the hands of the Tigers. And the Tigers have made a couple of defensive changes in this one. The Tigers have Moya coming into the ballgame now. Steven Moya will take over in right field. J.D. Martinez will get the rest of the night off. Wilson, meanwhile, is playing second base for Kinsler. There's Moya.
And Steven Moya had started playing left field down in the minor leagues a couple of weeks ago, but out in right field here this evening. And right field's his natural position.
That ball's drilled to center field. Ghost gonna run it down though.
Yeah, Ghost got a good break. Got a great jump on that particular ball. Chevrolet brings you the high-strength steel after Miguel Cabrera walk in the 3rd inning. J.D. stepped up with runners on 1st and 3rd and made a bid for his 37th home run of the year. Geyer in center field misjudged it momentarily, but it's Death Valley out there. He was able to recover and make a nice grab.
Geyer looks at a ball low from Valdez. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Rays tonight. No runs, 6 hits for the Tigers.
Yeah, last couple of innings, too many predictable fastball counts by Farrell, by Farmer, and by Valdez.
Swing and a miss. Lobstein started. Farmer came on in the 6th. Buck had to leave in the 7th. Farrell came on, and then Valdez. Here's the 1-1. To the backstop it goes, 2-1.
Valdez has a great arm. 97 miles an hour. Lots of strikeouts in the minors, but we also pointed out the fact that he also walked quite a few down in the minor leagues.
Fouled away, 2-2.
97. He's been sitting on 97 with his fastball. And here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. 98. Top fastball.
Valdez, a native of the Dominican Republic. That one way outside. So with Valdez pitching here tonight, that means that every Tigers reliever has thrown when you combine last night with tonight. And it's a deep bullpen these days with all the call-ups. Mikey Matuk on deck. The 3-2. Took that one out of his glove, fouled it back. Tigers signed Valdez in 09. He's been closing down in the minor leagues. The 3-2 is a high fly ball to right field. Moya going back, still going back to the track, looks up, and he can't make the play.
Oh my goodness, what's
It's going to bounce into the seats for a ground rule double. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what happened there with Steven Moya. We told you he had been playing left field down in the minor leagues the last 3 weeks, but I know he did not forget how to play right field. He's looking over at Anthony Ghost, and then all of a sudden he realizes that Ghost is not going to catch it, and he looks at Anthony, and it looked like he said to Anthony, "I thought you said I got it." How's that a hit?
It's ruled a double.
Oh no, they got to change that.
He looked right at Ghost, and it looked like you're right. He said, I thought you had it.
Yeah, exactly what he said to Anthony. I mean, that ball was directly in right field. I mean, Anthony's fast, but he's not that fast.
No. Not even Ghost could run that one down. So it'll be the 13th hit. A 1-out 2-bagger for Geyer. Mott took the batter. Ball outside, 2-0.
Kind of debating on whether I want to write that double in right now or not. I wait for them to change that.
Well, are you using pen?
I'm using pen, but I'm gonna write it in anyway.
All right.
You got some of that
I got
white out.
I do. You can use it if you want.
This is the big league, right?
What? Yeah, it's a catchable ball. It is the big leagues. And I'm with you. There's a pop-up. Shallow right field. And Moya coming in for this one. Runner
Second
better
base.
get back. Moya gets the ball back in time for the double play.
Hey, Geyer forgot how many outs there were.
So the mistake by Moya is covered up on the base running error by Geyer. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Tomorrow we're going to be in Cleveland. Danny Salazar, Alfredo Simon.
I just saw Danny Salazar when the Tribe were here a few days ago, so the Tigers need to get ready to hit that fastball. And there'll be a lot of those fastballs in the mid-90s, but they've hit Salazar very well in the past.
That'll be the first of 4 in that series. Meanwhile, we have a new lefty coming in. It's Enny Romero for the Rays.
And 4.58 ERA for Romero. He's pitching his 13th game, 21 strikeouts in 12 games he's been in, and he's only walked 8.
Top of the order coming up is Daniel Nava takes over in left field. That'll move Schaefer from left to third.
They got a lot of interchangeable pieces, don't they?
Sure do.
Taking guys from the outfield, putting them at third base.
There's Schaefer, who started the game at left. Goes in the ball game with a single and a double, so his strong September continues.
Ooh, that one had some hair on it. 96. Ghost is like, where'd that come from?
Here's the 1-1. Popped up shallow left, so Nava will get a chance immediately here, and 1 gone.
Here's our 1-800 call Sam call of the game. Anthony Gose has reached base safely here this evening in 14 of his last 15 games. 6 extra base hits, 7 walks, 9 runs. He's been doing a nice job of setting that table.
Finishing strong. Always love to see that.
I like the fact that he's taking some walks. He's tried to bunt at least once a game, really utilizing his legs down the stretch.
Foul straight back, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike on Josh Wilson.
And Josh Wilson, veteran infielder who has been with several different clubs, plays several different infield positions.
Looks like Cabrera's night is done as well, as Holiday has moved to the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss.
Nice breaking ball there thrown by Romero. 96 with the fastball, then his breaking ball at 83. Same arm slot, same window.
Now the lefty ready with the 1-2, and it's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson, one of the September call-ups, was with the big club earlier this year. A veteran of a lot of big league seasons with a lot of big league teams. Here's Holiday on deck. Now the 2-2. It's outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Eleven's major league seasons for Wilson. Here's a 3-2, and he got him, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th.
It's a pretty well located fastball here thrown by Romero. In the mid-90s, nothing Wilson can do with that pitch. Absolutely nothing.
Here is Holiday getting his first at bat. Tigers have managed only 6 hits in this ballgame. They've been out hit 13-6. The Rays busted open a fairly tight game with 2 in the 6th and 3 more in the 7th. And Tampa in this ball game tonight has hit 4 home runs.
And we're talking about a Tampa team that really has been challenged to score runs all year long.
Yeah, especially with a home run ball.
They come in here and put an 8 spot on the Tigers at home.
Now the 2-1 swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Holiday.
How about that? Romero's got 95 in his back pocket. He's got an 8-run lead, and he throws Holiday a 2-1 breaking ball.
Holiday took a swipe at it.
That's exactly what he did. He swiped at it.
Here's a 2-2, and it's low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. August 20th was when they called him up from Durham. He's been up and down 5 times this year.
Durham Bulls.
Here's the 3-2. Ground ball to third. That is a fair ball. Diving try by Schaefer, can't get it. Holiday is on his way to second. Going to pull in with a 2-out double.
Nearly a terrific play by Schaefer down at third base. He started the game in left field. He just came to third base. Couple of steps in a dive. Looked like the ball might have got a little bit of the glove.
So that'll bring up Steven Moya here now in the 8th. Moya's first big league at bat this season. And he looks at ball 1.
And 20 homers this year for Steven Moya. Down in the minor leagues, hit just 240. Drove in 74. And Tigers' #1 prospect coming into this season.
1 ball, 1 strike.
He had a rough year down in AA, though. Got off to a real tough start. He had some stretches where he performed well, and he was swinging the bat better down the stretch. But he struggled basically all year in AAA this season.
Moya had the plantar fasciitis at the beginning of the year, which put him behind the 8 ball out of spring camp as he waves and misses. One ball, 2 strikes on Steven Moya.
6 feet 6 inches. Can run. Outstanding throwing arm from right field. He's got power.
Moya last year was the Eastern League MVP, Tigers minor league player of the year. Now the 1-2 swing and a miss. Down on strikes, and that'll be it for the Tigers here in the 8th. We go to the 9th. It is 8-0 Tampa Bay. And only a half a year in the NL. There's the Mets sweep of the Nats 5-3. Also, Clayton Kershaw's on pace for 300 strikeouts this year.
Last Dodger and only Dodger to ever strike out 300 batters in a season, Sandy Koufax. And you know how good Sandy was.
He was pretty good. A-Rod reaching 30 homers for the 15th time in his career.
How about Alex, man? He had to go to spring training this year and basically win a job on the 25-man roster. Not only did he win a job on the roster, but arguably he's been their most valuable player this season.
Well, he helped carry them in the first half. No question about that.
How about Cespedes, though? I thought the Tigers had a chance of possibly bringing him back as a free agent when he hit the market, man. But I have a feeling he's kind of loving it down there in New York, man. Those numbers are ridiculous he's putting up, and you are right. I've heard people say that he should get some consideration for the MVP in the National League on what he has done to that offense and helped turning their season around.
He has hit 14 home runs since the trade that brought him to New York. But again, the Tigers received Michael Fulmer and back the other way in that trade, and he was dominant in the minor leagues this year.
Well, you had to get something in return for guys like Price and also a player like Yoenis Cespedes.
0-2 the count on Daniel Nava. That'll bounce in. Nava skips out of the way. Logan Forsythe on deck. Nava's first at bat of the ball game after Longoria was taken out of the contest. Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss. Nava's out of there, one gone.
Well, here's a couple of guys the Tigers were able to acquire at the trade deadline. Matt Boyd and Michael Fulmer, both named All-Stars in the minor leagues this year. And they got Fulmer from the Mets, and of course they got Boyd from Toronto.
10 wins for Fulmer, a 10-3 record, 9 strikeouts per 9.
Only one of 3 organizations with 2 or more players named to the team. So,
well, the deadline this year certainly helped restock the Tigers minor league system, and it needed some restocking. There's a bouncer to the shortstop. Machado has it. And Forsythe is out, 2 gone.
I agree with that. The last number of years they had traded away so many young pitchers to acquire veteran talent at the trade deadline to help the Tigers try to win and capture a World Series that minor league system had been depleted.
And I think, Ron, even though Matt Boyd's numbers have been a little bit crooked up here in the big leagues, we have seen enough to know that he's got good stuff, and I think with a little bit of seasoning, he's going to be a really good big league pitcher.
Yesterday was a very positive step taken by Boyd. He lasted 5 innings. Brad got him out of there when he got himself into a little bit of trouble in the 6th. But he had much better command yesterday. He was getting to 91, 92, touching 94. He's got a really good changeup, and his breaking ball was probably the best I'd seen in any of his starts so far.
Good step indeed, positive step. Nick Franklin slaps this one in the air down the left field line. Collins coming into foul ground, and he reaches into the seats and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 they go. We head to the bottom of the 9th.
And Jake Odorizzi pitching against the Tigers for the second time this year, and well, he was as good as the first time. Buried that fastball south of the knees at 92 to 93. He changed some eye levels going with fastballs upstairs, and he also had that split finger / changeup working here as well. So another good outing here tonight for Odorizzi against Tiger bats.
Kirby Yates will come in now, pitch out of the bullpen, trying to get the final 3 outs for the Rays.
Not good numbers this year for Yates. And pitching in his 13th game, the ERA is approaching 10. He does have 16 strikeouts, and he's around the plate. He's only walked 2.
A word on Buck Farmer. Right forearm tightness is why he left the ball game tonight. So Yates done with his warm-up tosses. He'll face Nick Castellanos to lead it off. Tigers were trying to get their first 3-game sweep since the beginning of this season, but they're 3 outs away from that not happening. Castellanos, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Yates going to work now as we head to the bottom of the 9th. And he'll fire his strike on the outer edge. Castellanos waits on the 0-1. Ground ball to third base, scooped up there by Schaefer. Nick is out, 1 away. Bring up Tyler Collins now. Collins 1 for 3. Tigers have managed only 7 hits in this one tonight. Playing to pull on Collins. Swing and a miss, 0-1. There's that shift that they employ against Tyler. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Kirby Yates, a native of Hawaii. Here's the 0-2, and Collins takes low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers have Alfredo Simon going tomorrow to start a 4-game weekend series against the Indians in Cleveland.
And he is 4-0 this year against Cleveland. 4-0 against the Tribe.
Still no Corey Kluber. You won't see him over the weekend. Still nursing that hamstring. Drill to right field down the line, hooking and foul.
Such a tough pitch to keep fair. And that 93 mile per hour swing back fastball that's off the plate inside. Collins did the best and that he could to pull his hands in close enough to try to barrel it up to keep it fair, but it missed by an eyelash.
The Rays are looking for their first shutout since August 20th when they shut out the Astros.
Tigers are trying to prevent themselves from being shut out 8 times this year. 8. It's a high number.
It is.
For the talent that they have on their squad.
And again the 1-2, and he got him strike 3. Collins caught looking, knew it.
Yeah, he knew it.
2 outs.
Let's take a look at the big boys, big play of the game. And Mikey Mott took, he took Farrell to the bridge and dropped him off. Left center field into the bullpen of the Tampa Bay Rays. All Rays here tonight.
He did what?
He took him to the bridge and dropped him off. What took?
0-1 on Marte. That's a first for me. I've never heard that saying.
You never heard that before?
Is that a locker room saying?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I've never said it before. I don't know where it came from.
It's the first time, man, in 14 years. Congratulations.
That's a new one.
0-2 on Marte. Jeffrey in the ball game, pop up on a strikeout. Here's the 0-2. Buries that one in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Avila. He'll get a shot if Marte is able to reach. All Rays tonight. They lead 8-0 in the 9th. Here's the 1-2. Fouled straight back. After the Cleveland series, on to Minnesota for the Tigers. And then after the road trip, 1 homestand, 1 road trip remaining. Playing to pull on Marte as Yates brings home the 1-2. And he missed low. 2-2. Bouncing ball foul. Hung that breaking ball, stayed up, and he banged it foul down to the ground. 2-2, the count stays on Marte. 3-run 4th inning for the Rays tonight. They raced out to a 3-0 lead on Lop's team. Then they added 2 more in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. Yates again ready with the 2-2. Popped up. Should do it left side of the infield. Beckham is under it, and the Rays avoid the sweep with a convincing win tonight against the Tigers. No runs, no hits, nobody left in the 9th. 8-0 your final score. We'll be back.